Hi there, listener, and welcome to this special bonus episode of the Ski Podcast, all about the new Travelski Express Ski Train. Now, you might already know that at the end of the 2020 ski season, Eurostar took the decision to stop running their very popular direct ski train service to the French Alps. And this was hugely disappointing to lovers of train travel like myself. Only a year before, in 2019, I'd founded a campaign called Ski Flight Free, with the goal of trying to encourage more skiers and snowboarders to travel to the Alps by train, or maybe in a full car instead of flying, and the aim, of course, being to reduce carbon emissions. Now, while I normally travel by Eurostar and connecting trains via Paris, I recognise that for most people, the simplest option is that direct, non-stopping service. So, when Eurostar cancelled their ski train service, I quickly found myself part of a lobbying group called Save the Ski Train. Can you guess what we were trying to do? Working with train expert Daniel Elkan from Snow Carbon and representatives from the environmental organisation Protect Our Winters from both their French and British setups, we did our best to try and revive it. Now, the bad news is that Eurostar weren't interested, but I like to think that we, in conjunction with some great work on the ground in the Tarentaise by the ski resorts, communes and mairies that were all affected by the cancellation, we were all a factor in the revival of that service, because in September 2020, the French travel company Travelski confirmed they would be reviving the service. There would be differences. You'd have to buy one of their packages, which would only be available to certain resorts, and trains would only run overnight on the Friday, returning in the day the following Saturday. I spoke to Guillaume de Marciac, the Travelski CEO, at that launch event.
It was Eurostar who cancelled their direct service back in December 2020, and this is effectively going to add around, my calculations, about 10,000 extra seats for British people to be able to travel by train to the Alps and back. And so just to clarify then, Travelski is a tour operator in France, and the investment to basically secure the train is from Compagnie des Alpes, who own a number of different ski resorts. So which of the ski resorts are going to be on offer in the first year of operation?
So this year we are organizing, and it takes quite a lot of preparation to make sure that everything gets smoothly and that we ensure the very stress-free and best experience for our guests. So the 6 resorts which we are going to get connected to the British skiers are Tignes, Val d'Isère, La Plagne, Les Arcs, les Menuires, and Meribel.
Right, okay, so I mean, that's a great selection there. They're obviously all Compagnie des Alpes resorts, and the way the tickets are going to work is it's going to be packaged. So you would buy the train, you transfer up to each of those resorts, accommodation and lift pass all together, right? Yeah. And I had a look, some of the prices look very attractive. I think they're probably going to work out quite well on the British market point of view. Will it be possible just to buy just the train element of it on its own?
No, we're going to sell the train as part of the Travelski Express package, as you very well described it. On top of those packages, people will be able to add optional services such as ski rentals or those kind of things. But no, the train will not be available just as a ticket-only product.
Yeah. Well, I understand that because it's Compagnie des Alpes who are taking the risk, so it makes sense to direct people towards their own resorts.
But it's also because we really are inventing a new type of experience for the guest, and we want really to make it stress-free at a period where we are progressively getting out of the COVID crisis, and where we believe that there will be a great winter to be lived for all the Europeans, and making it possible for the British skiers is really something that we thought was a great opportunity, because we know they love the ski train.
So Guillaume mentioned then our journey out of COVID, and it all seemed so promising back in the autumn. As we know, President Macron decided in December that Brits weren't welcome in France, and that first Travelski Express service on December the 26th didn't take place. One of the few upsides of that 6-week delay is that I was lucky enough to travel out on the inaugural service last Friday. Let's have a listen to how it went.
I'm in London St Pancras, and I'm about to go on the inaugural Travelski Express service the direct ski train out to the Alps. It's going to be leaving London St Pancras at 4 minutes past 8 this evening, and it's going to roll into Moutier first and then Bourg Saint-Maurice at 6:15 tomorrow morning. There's no couchettes, it's upright seats, so it's going to be an interesting challenge, but very exciting being here. There are a lot of skiers all ready to get on the train. I think there's about 300-400 people going on this first service, so pretty exciting. I'm going to speak to a few of them and see what they think. What appeals about the train then?
You ain't got a place to take your skis. It's door to door pretty much.
Yeah.
You ain't got to hang around at the airport wasting your time or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you get the extra day skiing.
I'm really interested to know why you ended up on this. How did you come choosing it?
Not done this before, but the guys organising the party I'm in is keen on the environmental impact and thought, right, we give this a go rather than flying.
And you've done the this overnight train?
Yeah. I'm actually going to the same resort I did last time as well.
Right. Okay.
So we took this was like 10 years ago now, I think.
Right.
It was. But yeah, took the train to Bourg Saint-Maurice from here, and yeah, it's really good.
I'm here with Mike and Gemma. You're, I think, the only people I've met here who've got children coming on the train as well. Have you been on the overnight train before?
We have indeed, yeah, quite a few times.
Got any tips for me?
Bring a pillow and try and travel light.
Okay. Well, I've done my best to do that. Now, you've got a couple of kids with you over there. They're occupied at the moment. Yeah, how are you anticipating that's going to go?
Well, I'm hoping they're going to fall asleep on the floor and not give us too much trouble. We've worn them out enough so far on the way here. That might happen all the way to...
And what's your reason for going by train rather than flying, for example?
When we used to go by ourselves, we used to go on this one, and then we used to come back on Saturday night. So we used to get 2 extra ski days, and Saturdays are always quieter. So it's just like a really nice day to ski. Not very many people, the slopes were really nice. And also environmental reason. We don't like flying because of the environmental impact, and the trains are obviously the most ecological way we can get there, isn't it? So yeah, that's our reasons.
With the prospect of having to sleep in upright seats overnight, I also asked for a few more tips on how to get through that night.
So you've done the overnight train before. What tips have you got to get through this?
Try and get as comfortable as possible. You're in for a long one, but I mean, it's good fun because you get to arrive in the resort early. So make the most of the first day. You're just going to be exhausted.
That's the way I was thinking. Going to end up really tired, but you should be able to get on the first lift. So that's the exciting part of it.
Skiing on Saturday, best days ever. It's empty.
Finally, before we left, I took the chance to speak to Caris, one of the Eurostar team members on board.
So from an operational point of view, it's similar to the regular trains that you run?
That's right, it's similar because it's our same station teams, it's the same onboard teams, it's the same teams that liaise with, the French stations, etc. So from that point of view, operationally, it's quite similar to what we normally do.
Yeah, but this is like long haul for them then, basically, is it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, we do have other routes also, which are kind of longer. We have a route from London to the south of France.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have a couple of routes, and they are used to the ski route and this configuration of our trains normally.
Yeah, well, hopefully if this goes well, then Eurostar or Travelski can add on some more services for next winter as well.
Yeah, definitely. We look forward to the launch.
Once we got underway, I spoke to Guillaume de Marciac, CEO of Travelski, who wanted to be on board that inaugural train.
It started, like a year ago or something like that, the journey to here?
Yeah, about 9 months ago. It's like a baby, like a pregnancy. But it all started back in April 21.
Yeah.
When we thought, after this terrible winter with no ski, we thought maybe it's time to think about a message and an initiative that we could take to address the UK market.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were reading some news about people like you and others who were actually criticizing the fact that there was no longer any train to go to the Alps. And we thought, well, maybe there is something to be done as a tour operator. Our expertise is to bundle products and services together. And we thought, why don't we go and ask the Eurostar if we could potentially do something together and resurrect the train?
And here we are, and I've got to say congratulations. I can't tell you how exciting it was to look at that train. And it says, destination Bourg Saint-Maurice. It's so cool. So congratulations on making it happen. I mean, obviously, it's been a very difficult start with the travel ban coming in, you know, a couple of weeks before the first service was due to go?
Yeah, it's actually, the timing is really awful for us, because we actually closed our deal with Eurostar very late in the season, only in September, you remember. And then by the time we were ready to start to put our packages on sale, it was already early October.
Yeah.
So we kicked off the sales in October. We had October and November, and early December came this bad news, and we could see the thing arriving. The couple of weeks before the ban, the sales were already kind of dropping, but then with the ban, everything stopped, and we had to cancel the first 6 rotations. And so yes, it was quite a terrible news on our side, and a bad timing in terms of pickup for the bookings. And now, when the travel ban was lifted, we saw a huge boom in our reservations. The day the message came on the market, we had our record sale, and in the last 10 days we did sell more than 1,000 seats, which is quite a lot at this time of the season. And pleased with the pickup.
Excellent. Well, I mean, obviously it's been a very, frustrating start, but now it's running. Hopefully from this inaugural weekend, or inaugural weekend for me, where more people will become aware of it, and more people will realise where you can book. And it's interesting. I've talked to a lot of the passengers already, and quite a few of them have said, those packages are really good. They're really good value. They've picked them up through different agents or come across them online, and there's some really good value there. Personally, I would love it if there were just maybe a few seats available that people could book direct as well. I think I asked you about this before, but do you think that will ever become part of the offering?
We're processing or progressing step by step, and we don't know what the future will be made of. What we know is that for this season, it makes an awful lot of sense to have an initiative in terms of complexity, and in terms of our business is not about selling trains. There are companies actually whose expertise is about selling trains, like Eurostar or SNCF in France. Our expertise is to do packages. So there is no real reason why we would actually charter a train just to resell tickets, just for the sake of reselling tickets. If we charter a train, the objective is to bring clients to our accommodations and to our services, and to sell them ski passes.
Of course, I fully understand that. I guess for me, what I think about in the off-season weeks, when probably you're never going to fill the train, to me it could be quite an exciting idea to say, right, there's a limited number of seats available, first come first served, or maybe some kind of dynamic pricing, and that in itself would generate a real bit of buzz, as you often call it in French, a bit of buzz and a bit of excitement as well, that would help roll on the awareness of the train. And you wouldn't need in my opinion, you wouldn't even necessarily need to do that many. Just be able to have a few available, and it could help the business as a whole.
We will see how things will evolve through time, and we are going to learn from this experience. And this being the very first train, I guess tomorrow night I will be smarter. In a week time, I will be even smarter with the experience of those clients coming back home. So let's go step by step, and we will see.
For sure. There's so many opportunities, but to me, I think the key thing is that there was no direct ski train to the Alps. Okay, last year was a saison blanche, as you have it in French, but
saison noire.
Exactly. But now it exists again, and that is a real net gain, because again, talking to people on the train here, there's a lot of people, some people just thought, I saw a good package, it sounded like fun. But a lot of people I've talked to, they want to take that environmental eco option, and while I have often taken the Eurostar to Paris and then changed, to have that direct option is really good. So, I can see our dinner is coming, because we're in standard premier, so we're being served at our seat. So, thank you very much, Guillaume, and enjoy the rest of the journey.
And enjoy your meal.
So we worked our way through the night, and at 6:15 or slightly later in the morning, we rolled into Bourg Saint-Maurice.
So did you actually sleep then?
Yeah, for a few hours.
Yeah. What about yourself? Do you manage to sleep at all?
So because the coach was like quite sparse, we managed to get under the seats and lie down. So
right, you slept on the floor, and that was okay?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not too noisy with the engine or anything like that?
Fine. Yeah, no, the noise wasn't a problem at all.
How much sleep do you think you got then?
Oh, 3 hours.
How was the night on the train?
Lovely, yeah. Compared to the plane, you have plenty of time to get comfortable.
Okay, and did you manage to sleep?
Yeah, we went for the underseat method.
That was your tactics, was it?
Yeah, underseat and overseat.
Yeah, because there's quite a lot of space, wasn't there, to spread out?
Oh, yeah, tons of space.
Still completely dark, but I can just see the outline of the mountains up there. That'll be Les Arcs right up there where I'm looking now. So it's starting to be very exciting. I'm not sure anyone slept very well on the journey, but people will have slept, and certainly there's a lot of excitement about getting out on the snow now.
I managed to catch up with Guillaume again just before I went up to Les Arcs.
We've arrived in Bourg Saint-Maurice. Were you happy with it? Do you feel it all went well?
So everything is fine. The weather is gorgeous, and it's going to be a great day of skiing. Our clients seem to be happy, and we just had a nice coffee and a croissant, and now are going to take the transfer bus to the resort. Atmosphere is good and nice, and
cool.
We look forward to a nice week.
Thanks for getting us out here, and I'll let you know how it is on the slopes.
And the great news is that a couple of hours later, I was indeed on the slopes in Les Arcs.
Well, I didn't quite get the first lift, but it's 9:20, and I'm just putting my skis on snow now, which is pretty good because 12 hours ago I was standing in St Pancras, and now I'm here.
And I think that's probably all you need to know. That's my review of the Travelski Express direct train to the Alps. Have a look in the show notes if you'd like to find out more. I'll be back for our next regular episode soon. So thank you, listener, for joining us for this special episode of the Ski Podcast, recorded live from my hotel room in Les Arcs. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and goodbye.